Ontario just made a massive announcement that could save you up to $130,000 on your next home purchase. And I'm not exaggerating that number, but there are some very important catches, including one that almost nobody is talking about yet. And depending on who you are, whether you are a first-time buyer, family looking to upsize, or an investor, this affects you very differently. In this video, I am going to break down exactly what was announced, who qualifies, how much you could actually save at different price points, the catches you absolutely need to know about, and my honest take on whether this should change your plans. If you're new here, my name is Jyoti, and I'm a real estate advisor with Engel & Walkers in Oakville, and I help buyers across Mississauga, Oakville, and Burlington make smart, informed decisions. This announcement is time sensitive, so stick with me because you need to understand this before you make any moves. All right, so here is what happened. On March 25th, the Ontario government announced as part of their 2026 budget that they are temporarily removing up to the full 13% HST on new home purchases for 1 year, from April 1st, 2026 to March 31st, 2027. Now, our HST in Ontario is 13%, which is made up of 5% federal GST and 8% provincial PST. What Ontario announced is that the provincial 8% will be fully rebated on eligible new home purchases. And they said the federal government has agreed to cover the 5% GST portion as well, bringing the combined potential savings to the full 13%. And here is the part that really got everyone's attention. This is not just for first-time home buyers. This applies to all buyers of new construction, including repeat buyers and investors, as long as the property is being used as a primary residence or a long-term rental. So if you are buying a new build to live in, you qualify. If you are buying a new build to rent out to a tenant who will live in it as their primary residence, you also qualify. The only thing you cannot do is buy it to flip or use it as a short-term vacation place. Now, I do need to point out something important. The federal government's portion of this, the 5% GST side, still requires changes to federal legislation that have not been fully enacted yet as of the time I am recording this. Ontario announced this assuming federal cooperation, and the federal government has indicated they are on board. But until that legislation is passed, there is a degree of uncertainty on the federal portion. The Ontario 8% side is moving forward through the provincial budget. So keep that in mind as you walk through your numbers. All right, let me show you what this actually looks like in real dollars, because the savings scale differently depending on the price of the home. For new homes priced up to $1 million, the full 13% HST is removed. So on $1 million new build, that is $130,000 in savings. That is the headline number. On a $700,000 new build, the savings would be $91,000. On a $600,000 condo, you are looking at $78,000. These are real significant numbers, regardless of whether you are a first-time buyer, a repeat buyer, or an investor buying a rental property. For homes priced between $1 million and $1.5 million, the rebate is capped at a flat $130,000. So you still get meaningful relief, but it does not increase proportionally with the price above $1 million. For homes priced between $1.5 million and $1.85 million, the rebate starts to phase out, declining from $130,000 down to $24,000. And for homes priced above $1.85 million, you only get the existing provincial rebate of $24,000. No enhanced relief. So the sweet spot here is clearly homes at or below $1 million. That is where you get the maximum benefit as a percentage of the purchase price. Now, here are the catches, and there are 3 of them that I think every buyer needs to understand. Catch number 1. This is temporary. The enhanced rebate window runs from April 1st, 2026 to March 31st, 2027. That is it. 1 year. Your agreement of purchase and sale must be signed within that window. It is not permanent and there is no indication it will be extended. So if you are going to take advantage of this, you have a defined timeline to act. Catch number 2. This only applies to new construction, not resale. If you're buying an existing home from another homeowner, this does not apply to you at all because there is no HST charged on resale transactions. This is specifically for newly built homes purchased from a builder or developer. It also applies to substantially renovated homes where at least 90% of the interior has been gutted and rebuilt. But that is a very high bar. A kitchen renovation or a basement finish does not count. Catch number 3, and this is the one almost nobody is talking about yet. The Ontario government's 2026 budget also proposes to eliminate the existing provincial HST rebate entirely once this temporary enhanced period ends. Right now, any buyer of a new home can get up to $24,000 back through the existing Ontario new housing rebate. After March 2027, that existing rebate could be gone. So this is not just a temporary bonus and then back to normal. This could be a temporary bonus followed by less than what we had before. That is a significant detail and it is something every buyer should factor into their timing decisions. So knowing all of that, who does this actually benefit? Let me walk through it by buyer type. First-time home buyers considering new construction. If you were already looking at a pre-construction condo or a newly built home, this is a genuine game changer. You could save up to $130,000 on a $1 million home. And there is also a separate first-time buyer GST rebate through Bill C4 at the federal level that extends well beyond this 1-year window. So first-time buyers actually have the most options right now. And for some price points, the longer-term Bill C4 rebate might actually be more advantageous than the temporary enhanced program. This is where you really need to sit down and do the math for your specific situation. Buyers looking at already built unsold inventory. This one is being overlooked. There is a significant amount of new construction inventory in the GTA right now that is already built and ready to move into. Developers have completed units that either did not sell or where the original buyer walked away. You could potentially buy one of these units, take advantage of the HST savings, and move in within weeks. That combination of immediate possession plus tax savings is worth exploring seriously. Investors buying long-term rental properties. If you are an investor buying new construction, specifically to rent out as a long-term residential rental, this is the first time a rebate of this scale has been available to you. On a $700,000 unit, that is up to $91,000 in savings. That fundamentally changes the math on your investment. The property has to be rented to a tenant who uses it as their primary residence. No short-term rentals, no flipping. Who should not change their plans based on this? If your budget only works for resale homes, this does not affect you. And I would not recommend stretching into new construction just to chase the rebate. The sticker price on a new build is typically higher than comparable resale. And there are development charges and closing cost differences that can eat into the savings. Always compare the full picture for your specific situation. I want to share my honest perspective on this because I think it matters. The savings are real. For the right buyer in the right situation, this is meaningful opportunity. And the fact that it extends to investors buying rental properties is a big deal. That has not happened before at this scale. But I also think it is important to see this for what it is. The government is temporarily removing the tax that has been making new homes significantly more expensive for years. And the fact that they are planning to eliminate the existing $24,000 rebate after this window closes means that anyone buying a new home after March 2027 could actually be in a worse position than they were before this announcement. So there is an urgency built into this, and it is real, but it is by design. My advice is simple. If new construction makes sense for your life, your timeline, and your budget, and you can act within this 1-year window, explore it seriously. Run the numbers, compare it to resale options at similar price points, and make sure you understand the full closing cost picture, not just the HST savings. But do not let the headline pressure you into a purchase that does not fit your life. A smart purchase will always be better than a fast one. If you're thinking about buying in Mississauga, Oakville, or Burlington, and you want to understand how this announcement affects your specific situation, reach out to me. My number is in the description. Send me a text, shoot me an email, or book a call. I can help you run the numbers and figure out whether new construction or resale is the smarter move for you right now. If this video helped you understand what is happening, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I am putting out videos on everything you need to know about buying in the GTA. I will see you in the next one.